Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. This feels like I am like Media Central here today. Broke ass media. I've literally just been on a couple of calls with Troy Polamalu, Steve Hutchinson, Donnie Shell, and I got to ask a question from Jimmy Johnson. Can't wait till the NFL releases the footage from that so I can bring it to you guys tonight. I hope you guys watch our premiere for it because you will hear some stuff from Jimmy Johnson. We're talking about the Ring of Honor. He's talking about what Charles Haley meant to him. He's talking about Steve Walsh was a guy that he planned on trading the whole time. Had to play it up, but it created a rip between him and Troy Aikman, and tells us exactly how they mended the fences and stuff and went on to win those Super Bowls. But I'm actually in a hurry here because in about 15 minutes I've got to be in the queue for Peyton Manning because I got a question that I want to ask him as well. We did the live stream earlier today when we had breaking news that Richard Sherman was arrested at 6:08 this morning, local time in Seattle, for burglary and domestic violence. Now, what I say here is be careful what you hear from the beginning of it. And unfortunately, when stories like this happen, it's the headline pieces, but then the resolution of it, you don't always hear if it's not anything exciting. In the same way, I think about how Des Bryant was drugged through the coals when Mike Farello came up and said there might be a tape of Des Bryant that's 10 times worse than Ray Rice. And there was never any tape found, but everybody went through and saw the name. So we don't know. We don't have the details. We can only report what is being reported. And so what we heard first thing this morning at 6:08 was Richard Sherman arrested for domestic violence and burglary, and that bail was not that bail was denied. Then we heard another part of this about an hour or so ago, um, that there may also be a hit and run with the Department of Transportation vehicle that was being in there. I don't know anything more about that. That was breaking while I was on my call, so I haven't had time to do a lot of research on there. Adam Schefter is reporting Richard Sherman's wife, Ashley Moss, told the Seattle Times, he didn't harm anybody. My kids were not harmed in the incident. He is a good person, and this is not his character. So, if you surmise what she said, we weren't hurt. He's a good guy, and this is not his character. So, you can look at that from what they're saying is not in his character, this is not what he's doing, or what happened today is not in his character. Okay, so we don't know. And I'm not trying to put any ideas. It's up to you to figure out what you want. We're doing all right, just trying to get him out. I want people to know no one was injured. That comes from Richard Sherman's wife, okay? Um, this is another tweet that happened about an hour ago. After investigating a single vehicle crash near a construction zone early this morning, Washington police are recommending additional charges of DUI and hit and run against Richard Sherman, per police spokesman, both for misdemeanors. So they're saying he hit a transportation vehicle at a construction site and that he may get charged with DUI. Another tweet: why Richard Sherman is in King County Jail without the option of bail, parentheses, yet. And this is what I also said, because when they said, oh, there was no bail at 6:08 in the morning, if it's a jailable offense, if it's something that can lead to jail time, you have to speak to a magistrate before you can be released, because they have to make sure that you're not a flight risk, or that you're not going to go out and injure people, or the guy just hasn't gotten to the office to say, okay, here's your name and address and your bond, here you go. And it's processing. They have to process all this. And if there is a possibility of other charges, we're not going to let you go until we get everything together in the paperwork. So this is where I say, be careful when you bite into it. We want to report what's going on as much as we know, but also say withhold judgment till all the facts come through. When his first court appearance is expected, and more details in this morning's stunning turn for an unsigned former Seahawk icon. Now, in a way, everybody's always linked to the Dallas Cowboys. So far, nothing to the Dallas Cowboys. Thank God we're not hearing anything like this. That Cowboy hopeful, Richard Sherman, or Dallas Cowboys, whatever. At least we're not getting that. And at least this hopefully will end anybody talking about the Dallas Cowboys signing Richard Sherman, although people in my live stream are saying, oh, we can get him for the cheap now. I'm done with older players. I like what my Dallas Cowboys have done in bringing in, and I want you to relate this to what we heard from Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson basically had a conveyor belt of guys coming through. We're bringing these guys in. Some of them are aging. Some of them are young. Some are no names and stuff. And he talked about the offensive line that he built, where he took Mark Tunney, who was a defensive tackle, and made him an offensive tackle. He talked about Gogs, who was like a 7th-round draft pick. He took a guy like a big fat guy in Nate Newton, and he ended up creating this dominant offensive line. So sometimes it's not the guy that has all the headlines and all the props that become the dominant players. We all as fans look for guys that have already made a name for themselves. Oh, he's already great. But sometimes that's past the point of being able to have them ready to rock and roll. And this is where the genius of Jimmy Johnson was. We're bringing in a whole lot of guys. We're going to find out who can play, and we're going to keep them. Well, if you look at this is kind of what the Dallas Cowboys are doing now. They brought in a lot of guys. Ain't nobody tied in where we're locked in, where we have to say we have to keep them. They're not. You got 33 or 34 guys that are on one-year deals. You want to be here? You got to fight it out. And if you got asthma, get your asthmatic ass over on the other field, because I'm cutting you. And this is where guys are put on notice. You're not anointed as the guy. You got to earn it. And bringing in a veteran that's high priced, that's looking and knowing that the end of my career is coming up, you're not going to get that same passion, because like Cliff Harris said, we had to have a job in the offseason. We had to make sure every penny counted. And so if I don't make this team, I ain't eating. You don't have that hunger now with guys that have already gotten paid. You don't have that hunger with guys that are on their 2nd and 3rd contracts. Their refrigerator's full. It's tough, but that's the way it is. Stick with the young guys. Find out who are the keepers and get everybody else the heck up out of here. All right. That being said, 5 minutes till the green room opens up, and I'm going to make sure I'm there. And definitely check out these videos, because these guys are amazing. It is amazing talking and listening to these guys and what it took for them to become Hall of Famers. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you later.